Hey guys, your friend Spencer here. So the other day I put a poll on my channel asking, if I were to listen to 5 hours of some preacher, who would you want me to listen to? And you guys spoke, and the overwhelming majority was Stephen Furtick. So today, as I go through my day-to-day activities, I'm going to have earbuds in and I will be listening on my phone to Stephen Furtick preach. And I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end of the day, just sharing with you my overall impression. I'm going to listen to him today for 5 solid hours, and I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end of the day. I hope that I don't regret this, but I'm thinking that I probably will. Oh boy. Well, here goes nothing.
Sees Peter falling and hears him crying. He reaches out his hand, and Peter is close enough for Jesus to reach. The problem with some of us isn't that we're sinking, it's that we won't stay close enough, come on, for God to get us in his grip. And I came to announce to that lion today, that liar, the devil, that I'm in his grip even when I'm going down, even though the winds and the waves are roaring and raging in my life, I'm in his grip. Somebody said I'm in his grip.
You know, it just dawned on me that I'm driving to church and I'm listening to Stephen Furtick. Please don't tell my pastor.
Okay, so it took all day, and I just had a crazy, nutty, wild day, and including the police showing up at church and everything. So it's been crazy. So that being said, I survived this day. Not only did we have the Kentucky State Troopers come out and visit me at church, I endured Stephen Furtick's preaching all day long. You people owe me big time. So after I went through and I took all that information in and all these sermons in, I just gotta say, whoa. I mean, like my mind has been going this way for years, and it's like his mind goes total opposite. Everything he teaches is almost a total 180 of everything I have heard throughout all these years. It's almost like he's speaking a different language when he's in the pulpit. And just so you know, I'm trying to be as completely objective in this as I possibly can be. So I want to give you some things that I thought were positive and good things about Stephen Furtick. Number one, I thought the guy was likable. I thought he was. I mean, who doesn't like this guy? He's nice, he's funny, he's a very powerful speaker, and he's not some raging jerk monster, and he's not some weirdo. He has a very nice, sociable, likable personality. I mean, as far as his personality goes, it's a good thing. I guess I do like the guy. He's likable, and I do find some of his humor to be funny. Can I tell you that if you're a Christian and you're so spiritual that you don't use any humor in your life and you don't laugh at anything, then you're a weirdo. And not only that, I thought just as a public speaker and just from my understanding of homiletics and my personal study of that and trying to understand the art of public speaking, I would say he's a very skilled public speaker. I admire his delivery. I admire how effective he is with his crowd and how he is able to communicate what he believes effectively to the people that are in the seats there at that church. I almost said pew, but that's so 5 minutes ago. The man's able to read a crowd. He is able to work a crowd. He is able to communicate his message to a crowd effectively. And I just, from being a public speaker myself, I recognize that as a skill, and he is highly skilled at this. So I want to give him credit for that. He is a very effective communicator of a message or communicator of what he believes to be the truth. And so I want to give him that because he's very good at that. And number 3, I want to give you this. Okay, the guy's educated. This is not a stupid human being. This is a very smart person. When I was watching his sermons, watching him preach and listening to him preach all day, I was sitting there thinking, this guy's been through a Southern Baptist seminary. I can just tell he has been because of the things he says and the positions he holds on things. And sure enough, I went and looked on his Wikipedia page, and yeah, he went to a Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. So yeah, the guy's educated. This is not a stupid person. This is not some hee-haw country boy with an IQ of 80. This is a very intelligent human being. And I want to give him that because I do appreciate that. I appreciate a man who has an intellect. And so this guy has one, even though you probably couldn't tell because of his stoner disposition that he has all the time, where he's like, hey man, cool man, dude, rock, yeah, all right. Sometimes I was watching the sermons, I couldn't tell if I was watching a Baptist preacher preach or I was watching some religious spin-off of
You so totally rock, squirt!
So let me just go through and explain some of the things that I did not like as I was listening to Stephen Furtick preach. Number 1, this guy absolutely has no separation between him and the world. He talks about R-rated explicit movies as his favorite movies, and he talks about secular rock bands that he loves to listen to, like Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that. So this man just doesn't believe in separation from the world, and which I don't really I don't know what I was expecting, because this is the guy who heads up Elevation Worship. I know that may not mean anything to you, but to me that just means something. I at least try to live a separated life from the world, and not because I'm trying to be separated from the world like a Pharisee. I want to be separated to Christ like a true Christian should be. And I believe that the natural progression of that, and the natural side effect of being separated unto Christ, is that there will be some distance between you and the world. You can't love two entities that are at odds with each other, and the world and Christ are that way. So, matter of fact, I'll just sit right here and just wait for you to go ahead and type the word legalist into the comment section of this video, because I know that's what you want to do, and that's probably what you're doing now. Legalist. Yeah, you can hit enter. Now, while you're at it, hit the like button on this video too. If you need to, you can stop this video at any time and just go out, step outside, and smoke a cigarette till your nerves calm down. All right, now that you're back, this guy doesn't have any separation from the world. He talks about secular bands and wicked movies like they're his favorite thing in the world. And that to me, that makes me uncomfortable. I just don't think Christians should live that way. And I have a number of Bible verses to prove that. Okay, number two, when I was listening to this guy preach, I'm sitting there and thinking, there's no way this guy's a Baptist. This guy is not preaching anything that sounds anything like any Baptist that I have ever heard in my life. And I got to listening, and I started noticing something. This guy, everything he teaches is very man-centered. It's almost like, God exists for your good rather than you exist for God's glory. It was almost like it was totally backwards. And I started listening to it more and more and more and more and more, and I'm thinking, this is very man-centered theology. This is man-centered talk. All of these sermons revolve around me and what God does for me and why God loves me and me and me and me and me. It really wasn't eisegesis. It was more like narcigesis. I mean, I noticed over and over and over again, it was like, God's going to bless you, and God's going to do something for you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and sure is talking about me a lot. I mean, I started thinking, after a while, I'm thinking, does God exist for me, or do I exist for God? At this point, I don't even know. Number three, here's what the conclusion that I came to with listening to his sermons, okay? This isn't Baptist doctrine. This isn't Bible doctrine. This is actually prosperity doctrine. This is positivity, prosperity, and I would go so far as to say that this man's just basically a word of faith preacher. I don't know how in the world this guy is even on the rolls of any Southern Baptist convention at all. Now, I'm not a Southern Baptist. I'm actually an independent Baptist, but this guy's not preaching anything that sounds anything like Adrian Rogers. I mean, this guy's not even on the same page with Charles Stanley. I mean, it sounds like he's just like a disciple of the modalist heretic prosperity word of faith T.D. Jakes.
Elevation Church, let's welcome the one, the only, the incomparable Bishop T.D. Jakes.
That's not good. Okay, so here's my conclusion. I wrote it down for you. I want to read it to you, and check this out. Stephen Furtick is a Southern Baptist trained theologian that became so enchanted by the methodology of modernism that he gravitated that way, and he's still gravitating that way so far, more and more and more and more, that eventually he will become a modernist himself. You mark my words, if he's not already there. I mean, at this point, he's so entrenched with Hillsong and T.D. Jakes and the New Apostolic Reformation that it's really tragic. I don't see any path back for him. And see, this is the MO of neo-evangelicals, especially far left-leaning neo-evangelicals like Stephen Furtick. They have no separation in their life whatsoever. There's no separation between them and the world, no separation between them and sin, no separation between them and false teachers. They hang out with Rick Warren, they hang out with Hillsong, they hang out with T.D. Jakes, eventually to the point they become one. John R. Rice, the famous fundamentalist of years ago, always said that men go wrong in their fellowships before they ever go wrong in their doctrine. Someone asked me a while back, said, what do you think of Stephen Furtick? And I said, right out of my mouth, I said, the very first thing came out of my mouth was, I am severely concerned about his relationship with T.D. Jakes. That's the direction he's going. He is going to be one of those. And so with Furtick, what's happening is that this man has been given a body of orthodox theology. But because he is so enchanted with T.D. Jakes and others, Word of Faith, NAR guys, that body that he's been handed, that doctrinal foundation that he has, is being eroded ever so slowly. And in time, I mean, the guy's only 40 years old, okay, so he's a young guy. And so because of his fellowships with these heretical people, that foundation that he's been given is going to be eroded, chipped away at. And not only that, with the music coming through and his fellowship with modernists like Carrie Job and Cody Carnes and others, and his association with Hillsong and Casting Crowns, that body of doctrine, that foundation is going to be destroyed. And eventually, unless he repents and turns and goes back the right way, Stephen Furtick's going to be a full-blown modernist himself, if he isn't already. Guys, watch our video series on fundamentalism, modernism, neo-evangelicalism. That'll give some clarification as to what we're talking about with these issues. This is a very important dimension of Christianity that you must understand if you're going to discern modern teachers and where we are today. This is a big deal. You need to bring yourself up to speed on this stuff. We've provided videos for you so that you can know this stuff, and subscribe to our channel and look for Third Adam 2. We're going to talk about this kind of stuff and deal with it and let you know what is actually happening. We want to equip you to navigate these waters of theology, especially these treacherous waters where the gale force winds of heretical doctrine are blowing very strongly right now. And we want to equip you to help you to navigate all that. Give you some tools to work with, if you will. 5 hours of Stephen Furtick. I will probably never do that again. Oh man, I'm tired. I am exhausted after doing that. Oh boy. But hey guys, pray about being a channel member. You can support this channel for as little as $2 a month. And then also pray about helping us with some projects overseas. We got a lot of big things happening. And you can click a donation to our ministry in the link below. And so we love you. You guys have a good night and subscribe to our channel. God bless you. Thank you very much.